One of the last surviving servicemen stationed in North Yorkshire during World War II has spent years campaigning for a memorial to remember thousands of soldiers from the West Indies.
Now, Filey Town Council says it won't allow a plaque to be built in the town's gardens because only locals can be remembered there. Abby Jayola has more.
That's the first picture of me and Dennis. That was after about 6 months.
96-year-old Alfred Gardner was one of the first of thousands of volunteers from the West Indies who served for Britain in the Second World War and were based at Hunmanby in North Yorkshire. He was warmly welcomed by the locals.
A lot of people had never seen a black man. They'd seen him on camera and films, but a lot of people had never met any black people at all, never. See, so it was quite daunting to some people, but then, I mean, you know, they got to know you and you haven't come to eat anybody. So it's quite all right.
Across the smooth runway roll the Bostons, while their motors seem to roar.
Alfred is one of the last surviving servicemen who travelled from Jamaica to Filey as a volunteer, inspired by his father, who served in the First World War.
The younger people coming up don't realise, you know, the contribution that we made. When we came, I mean, things were in England were in a very difficult position. Things were very low. And we came and we did what we helped as much as we could.
But there is nothing to recognise that Caribbean contribution in the War Memorial Gardens in Filey. Leeds barrister Glenn Parsons, whose uncles also served at Hunmanby, has been campaigning for almost 2 years to have one created.
Well, I feel somewhat sidelined. I feel that it's somewhat disrespectful to the memories of the families and the people who came here as volunteers, and that's what I like to stress. They didn't have to come, but they came in 1940 when this country was very much in its hour of need, and yet their contribution goes unrecognised, and I just don't think that's fair.
Initially, Filey Town Council rejected the request for a Caribbean memorial, saying it wouldn't be inclusive. Now they say the garden is only to commemorate people from Filey who gave their life in conflict, so a tribute to those who came from the West Indies wouldn't be appropriate.
It needs to be remembered and documented as well, because I don't think many people realise that these people came, 5,000 West Indians came in a short space of time to help.
Those who served and their families simply want that story preserved for future generations. Filey Town Council say they may consider alternative locations, but campaigners are still waiting to hear where those may be.